Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Text 17. So today we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 16 and 17. So, Text 16, I'll read the translation, and then we'll try to do something with Text 17. In Ketu Malavarsha, Lord Kamadev Pradyumna moves very graciously. His mild smile is very beautiful. And when he increases the beauty of his face by slightly raising his eyebrows and glancing playfully, he pleases the goddess of fortune. Thus he enjoys his transcendental senses. Tad Bhagavato Mayamayam Rupam Parama Samadhi Yogena Rama Devi Sangvatsarasya Ratrishu Prajapater Duhitrabir Upetahasu Cha Tad Bartrabir Upaste Idang Chodaharati Tat that Bhagavata of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya Mayam, full of affection for the devotees. Rupam, form. Parama, highest. Samadhi Yogena, by absorption of the mind in the service of the Lord. Rama, the goddess of fortune. Devi, divine woman. Sangvatsarasya, known as Sangvatsara. Ratrishu, during the nights. Prajapate, of Prajapati. Duhitrabi, with the daughters. Upeta, combined. Ahashu, during the days. Cha, also. Tat Bhartrabi, with the husbands. Upaste, worships. Idam, this. Cha, also. Udaharati, chants. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Accompanied during the daytime by the sons of the Prajapati, the predominating deities of the days, and accompanied at night by his daughters, the deities of the nights, Lakshmi Devi worships the Lord during the period known as Samvatsara in his most merciful form as Kamadev. Fully absorbed in devotional service, she chants the following mantras. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The word Maya, Mayam, used in this verse should not be understood according to the interpretations of the Mayavadis. Maya means affection as well as illusion. When a mother deals with her child affectionately, she is called Maya Mayam. In whatever form the Supreme Lord Vishnu appears, he is always affectionate toward his devotees. Thus the word Maya Mayam is used here to mean very affectionate toward the devotees. Srila Jiva Goswami writes in this regard that Maya Mayam can also mean Kripa Prachuram, deeply merciful. Similarly, Srila Viraraghava says Maya Prachuranat Maya Sankalpena Parigrihitam Ityartha Jnana Paryayotra Maya Shabda. When one is very affectionate due to an intimate relationship, one is described as Maya Maya. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains Maya Mayam by dividing it into the words Maya and Amalam. He explains these words to indicate that because a living entity is covered by the disease of illusion, the Lord is always eager to deliver his devotee from the clutches of Maya and cure him of the disease caused by the illusory energy. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So accompanied during the daytime by the sons of Prajapati and accompanied at night by the daughters, Lakshmi Devi worships the Lord during the period known as Samvatsara in his most merciful form as Kamadev. Fully absorbed in devotional service, she chants the following mantras. So we've been hearing some very wonderful classes, been taken on some incredible journeys in this most fortunate position of being here in Sri Vrindavan Dham and hearing Srila Prabhupada, translation and purports, particularly here how Goddess Lakshmi, she was praying to Lord Kamadev, and he comes in many forms, but the Lord is always very merciful when he appears at Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. He has many forms. He comes for the pleasure of his devotees, and the purpose is to free us from the illusion of this material existence and the suffering of material life. We're hearing about Kamadev, and we'll hear about other incarnations as well. Matsyavatar, the fish incarnation, comes to save the Vedic literature. The Vedas are always available, but sometimes they're hidden. So the Lord, he incarnates, sends his representatives to keep us in line and give us the opportunity to somehow or other awaken our forgotten relationship with him. But the scientists and the Mayavadis, they want to forget about God. They want to forget that there's a supreme controller, a supreme being. It makes it convenient so that, oh, I was born in a very aristocratic family, I have so much wealth, I have beauty, opulence. Let the poor people go to God and pray for bread. I have so much bread. I have cakes and servants and so many opportunities. In one sense, it is God's gift, Janma, Aishwarya, the good birth. Prabhupada took birth in a very, in a family of pure devotees, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. But even it was considered, he would often say, in America, you're all born in wealthy families, you have health and beauty, wealth, so much opportunity. So this, in one sense, is God's gift. But these are also the allurements and the stumbling blocks which make one forget the Supreme Lord, and we lose the opportunity of with feeling and with love. As Queen Kunti is praying, she says that those who are enamored by the so-called advancements of material life, this is the whole pursuit, the whole idea of the material world. Men are thinking that to advance in material opulence and have all the things that money can buy, we're making progress, we're making advancement. But these are also the coverings and the illusions that makes one proud and arrogant in this world, not becoming humble to bow down before the Lord and with sincere prayer. We've seen so many pastimes in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagadananda would bring a nice blanket for him, or brought this oil, special oil, and made various arrangements. We heard the other day also when Ramchandra Puri was criticizing, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eating so much, so immediately he reduced his eating in half. And he says, I'm a sannyasi, I cannot sleep in a comfortable bedding. They wanted to give nice pillows also and cushions. No, I'm sleeping on the floor, and I cannot wear this costly garment. He's the Supreme Lord, but he's showing by his example, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarodapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Because this pride, this ego, is a very powerful chain. It has us by the feet, by the hands. We're chained to this material world, thinking that we could be the enjoyers. But we are not the enjoyers. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Bhoktarang jagatapasang sarvaloka maheshwarang suhridang sarvabhutanam gyatvamang shantim rishtati. One who has this understanding, this knowledge that Krishna is the supreme controller, the supreme Kamadev, the enjoyer. But we're here as little imitators trying to somehow squeeze out a little bit of pleasure and enjoyment from this world, which ultimately is opening up the doorway to hellish existence. And the first thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, asat sanga tyaga vaishnavachar, that if you want to advance in spiritual life, you give up the association of those who are addicted to material sense gratification, those who are addicted to material life. And although we had opportunities, especially in the Western world, to have nice cars and nice toys and go to school and so-called try to enjoy the illusions of Maya's carrot dangling before the donkey, because we're actually donkeys. We're getting kicked in the face repeatedly. I remember I came to Vrindavan to live here in 1993, and I was staying at Yashomati Nandana's house, and just outside his house, it's just on the Parikram path, were two donkeys there. And one donkey just kept approaching the female donkey, and I was actually seeing how that donkey would shoot its legs up in the face and smack him right in the face. And the male donkey would just be bewildered and shaking his head a little bit, and then go back for more, and he'd get kicked again in the face. So it was a vivid example. You come to Vrindavan and immediately see, oh, here you're like a little donkey trying to enjoy in this material world, but what's going to happen? Maya's going to kick. And that kicking was it's not just some analogy or some so-called story. These examples are meant to help us awaken to the fact that we are servants. We're servants of Krishna, and this life is very, very short. So we should follow in the footsteps of Lakshmi Devi and be absorbed in devotional service and offer prayers with love and feeling. And what is the best prayer that was given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Who knows? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's not a secret, it's posted everywhere. We're broadcasting. It says those who are blessed are fortunate. Prabhupada mentioned that many of my godbrothers went to the West he gave them, some temples and some possessions. But the real blessings are to empower one to spread this mission of Krishna consciousness. This is a preaching mission, and this is life. Say, preaching is life. So Lakshmi Devi is very enthusiastic to serve the Lord with devotional service. And Krishna, Kamadev, he is very kind and very merciful to his devotees. Says he's not as kind to Lakshmi, she's always on his chest. And even Lord Brahma, Indra, even Lord Shiva, the various demigods, of course, there's a loving relationship. But for the gopis and the gopas, and those Sudama Brahman, and all those devotees who are fully surrendered with humility and love, Krishna is very kind, very merciful. We were just singing Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, it describing the love of Radha Madhava. And then Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the inhabitants of Braj, they're not seeing Krishna as God, the Supreme Lord, and with awe and reverence, although obviously that has to be there for one who is not on that level of spiritual development, spontaneous Raganuga love of Godhead. But this is going on in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. And this Vrindavan, just like the governor, he might have his house. So when Krishna comes to this earth, Bhumi, this is his place, this is his home. This is Prabhupada's home, Vrindavan Dham. And Krishna comes and exhibits beautiful pastimes to attract us. Why is Krishna lifting Govardhan Hill, mercifully protecting his beloved devotees? We saw that play, Bhakti Marg Swami and his troupe did a beautiful play, the killing of Trinavarta and Putana, and how Kamsa was killed. So Krishna, he's Paritranayang Sadhunang Vinashaya Dushkritam. He appears for the protection of his devotees and to annihilate the miscreants and rascals. So we all have that miscreant rascal within us, that desire for sense gratification. And the Lord is appearing, Kali Kalir Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. So the religion, Kali, the age of quarrel, the age of hypocrisy, the age of illusion, the Lord is coming again and again in the form of his holy name. And that transcendental sound vibration is cleaning and killing the demons in the heart, the lust, the anger, the greed, the desire for admiration, distinction, opulence, I was hearing yesterday when Lord Ramchandra, being the king, one person, his son died. So he brought his son to the king and said, how is it in your kingdom my son has died before me? This is not natural. It's your responsibility. And Prabhupada said that the monarchy, the emperors, at that time were actual representatives of God, and they were, of course, worshipped. And people think to become a king, so much opulence, so much facility. But then they said if it's too cold, it's the king's problem. Too hot, if something irregular is happening within your kingdom, that means something is wrong in your administration. So we should not think that simply becoming king or the big man is a good thing. Sometimes it's a headache, it's a responsibility and even taking the position of guru, although we are being ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this chanting and to become guru by setting a good example ourselves, but it's a big responsibility. So one should not become a parent, one should not become a guardian, one should not become guru or a king or a leader if he cannot free his dependents from the cycle of birth and death. So this is our real problem, that we're going to get old, we're going to get diseased, and then we're going to die. Everybody dies. It's very amazing. What is it? Yudhishthira and Dharmaraj? Wait, no, Yudhishthira is Dharmaraj, but who was talking? Yamaraj was describing the most amazing thing in this world is that people are dying all around us. My grandfather died, my father died, my mother died. Sometimes we meet people who are in their 90s or 100 years old, and they've seen everybody in their family die, all their friends have died, but I will not die, at least not now, not today, in the future. So we're all thinking that, as we heard Preetu say yesterday, that, my dear Lord, please free me from lust, anger, and greed so I can follow the four regular principles, but not just yet. Wait till later when I'm old and I could take up spiritual life more seriously. But Srila Prabhupada was very keen and very eager to glorify Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj. At a very young age, they performed tapasya, austerity, and they focused their mind by chanting Dhruva Maharaj, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Lord Nrsingadev and was always thinking of the Lord, protected by the Lord, was not at all fearful. One can become Abhaya. Srila Prabhupada, Abhaya Charanaravinda, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. He is fearless. How can you cross an ocean at 70 years old, suffer heart attacks, and the threat of death on your head at all times, and be fearless? Prabhupada saw that Krishna, he is my friend, Krishna, my dear friend. He is with me. He has come with me. He made everything calm, made everything very, very peaceful and beautiful. The captain and his wife said, please, you come back with us. We've never seen such a voyage so smooth and peaceful. Why? Krishna was protecting his devotee. So again, that opulence is God's gift, but also to take it all away, Srila Prabhupada, he had the opportunity in his chemical firm to become one of the wealthiest, very successful people. But he remarks how Krishna, out of love and kindness, took everything away from me. Came completely penniless, rupeeless. To save just a very little bit, he would walk, but it would not take the so-called conveniences. But then Krishna again took everything away, then again he gave everything, so much, so many temples, and so much opulence. Prabhupada said, who has seen such a thing within a matter of a short few years? You go from 40 rupees to 40 crores of rupees. And now there's hundreds of thousands, millions of followers of Krishna. Can't even move in Vrindavan. People are eager. This is all Prabhupada's mercy, because he is coming from the spiritual kingdom. Krishna sent him on a mission. Kali Yuga is getting really dark, and people are really fallen. They've forgotten the purpose of life. So naturally, being our father, our well-wisher, very compassionately, he sent Srila Prabhupada to save us from wandering around like hippies or streetless people. Every day, walking, I see so many people sleeping on the streets, but we're offering them, you come stay with us, chant the holy name, take prasadam, perform some service for the deities, for the Lord, for the devotees. But one who is in this material world is blinded by the illusion of Maya, and it's very, very difficult to give that up. But this medicine is very strong. But unfortunately, nam akari bahudani jasarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala. Itadrishi tava kripa bhagavan namapi durdaivam idrisham hajni nanuraga. That you have so many names, Krishna, Govinda, and Krishna is very, very merciful. But I am so unfortunate, I have no taste for the holy name. While we're chanting, our mind is wandering, thinking of so many things, what we're going to do later, or what's there to eat, I'm hungry. So many things are coming through the mind, very difficult to focus. Although you have so many names, I am very unfortunate. But somehow or other, please pick me up. He continues praying, pick me up from this ocean of birth and death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So we should also pray in that mood, the mood of Lakshmi Devi, mood of absorption in devotional service. Pray to the Lord by sincerely chanting, by hearing, associating with the devotees, taking advantage of this short lifespan. Those who are a little bit older know how quickly the years go by. So we should look and see, how have I used my time in Krishna consciousness? How have I tried to reciprocate with my spiritual master? He's given me so much. He's given me everything, the spiritual kingdom. So what little gratitude I can show to Srila Prabhupada, that his desire was to spread this mission of Krishna consciousness. So we should take on that austerity, that yagya, Sankirtan yagya. Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangastra Parshad Darshanam Jagnai Sankirtan Prayaya Jantihi Sumedasa. That this yagya of the Sankirtan mission is the process of worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the incarnation in this age. He's come with his associates, his weapons, the holy name. And so we chant, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Such a simple process. Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? Shuddhakirti Prabhu, he published one book. So what is the difficulty? So we make our own difficulties, we make our own stumbling blocks, we make our own excuses and reasons why we should not engage ourselves in this devotional service. But somehow or other, despite our stubbornness, sometimes a child is very stubborn, but the parent knows what's best. Despite our stubbornness, Krishna has allowed us to come to Vrindavan. Preeti Prabhu told me yesterday, I like it here, it's very nice, I think I'll come every year. So we should also think like that yes, I like Vrindavan Dham. We should come regularly to charge our batteries and hear the Bhagavad Gita, associate with devotees, sit in the kirtan, because this kirtan in front of the deities is a very, very powerful way of praying to the Lord to free me from this ignorance, free my heart from all the suffering, free me from the attachments to this material existence. The other day we had a very beautiful prayer about not being attached to family life and just getting freed from material existence. And how, here it is actually. I like that very much. It says, "My dear Lord, we pray that we may never feel attraction for the prison of family life consisting of home, wife, children, friends, bank balance, relatives, and so on. If we do have some attachment, let it be for the devotees whose only dear friend is Krishna. A person who is actually self-realized and who has controlled his mind is perfectly satisfied with the bare necessities of life. He does not try to gratify his senses. Such a person quickly advances in Krishna consciousness, whereas others who are too attached to material things find advancement very difficult." We should not misunderstand that, because also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu associates, many had families, but they were all dedicated to Krishna consciousness. There was that one devotee who wanted to leave his family and follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, "No, you stay home, you chant the holy name, and do your duties." So we are very much not condemning the family process as long as it's all dedicated and centered around Krishna consciousness. That we see so many of our younger generation, they're also becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness and taking responsibility. In Florida, we have New Raman Reti Temple, and all the festivals are organized by the youth, by the Gurukuli kids. Well, they're not kids anymore; they're growing up, and all the festivals throughout America. I know during the Festival of India would travel and they would set up all the dioramas and exhibits and do the chanting and the plays and all the things that are taking place. So family life centered around Krishna consciousness is good. But those who are thinking that there's some enjoyment here in this world, it's also a lesson. You learn many lessons in family life. Sometimes very hard lessons. It's not easy, it's difficult. So Prabhupada said, if you can stay brahmachari, you better stay brahmachari. But if you're the donkey and need to be kicked a few times, then get married and get kicked, and hopefully, after all your teeth are knocked out, you'll realize that it's time to surrender to Krishna, to Prabhupada, and try to render some service for the pleasure of the Lord. So I can stop there. If anyone has any questions, comments, there's a microphone here. Any corrections from our senior Vaishnavas? Yes, we have a question there. You can maybe give a microphone in the back.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask, if all the world is emanation of Krishna, can we consider that Krishna is everywhere reflected in the world?
Can we consider Krishna is reflected everywhere?
Everywhere in the world.
Yes, Krishna himself says, Sarvasya chahang hridisana vishto matasmriti jnanam apohanam cha. He says that I am everywhere. I'm in the heart of every living being. He's in every atom. So the whole material world is actually Krishna, a manifestation of Krishna, and every living being is actually a manifestation of Krishna. So he's everywhere, all pervasive.
Thank you.
Thank you. else have any questions, comments? Yes.
You mentioned briefly about anartha-nivritti, like you were saying about desire for anger, lust, greed, and desire for your own glorification and popularity. Does every devotee go through this thing of popularity, or is it just, because I personally experienced it, I wanted everyone to be popular, recognize all these things. And
I like your chutter, by the way. It's a very nice chutter.
Just never leaves.
Yeah. No, everyone likes to be recognized, and everyone has that desire for adoration, distinction. You know, why you don't call me, or why don't you recognize me, or people, if they feel that this is a very important aspect of their life. But if one is recognized as a devotee of the Lord, it's a good thing. But to aspire just to think that, oh, you know, I am Rockefeller, I am Ford, I am Birla, you know, because I'm a very big man, or we'll see, maybe we're having our 40th anniversary, we might have to, might be bringing the governor here, so you'll see somebody who's, you know, having some big title and recognized. So I think everyone has that to a smaller or greater degree. Everyone has that desire for recognition and distinction, wanting to be appreciated. So we're working on all that by chanting the holy name.
Hare Krishna, Guru. My question is coming from the beginning of the discussion about how person's material obviouses are God-given, which makes sense from a certain view. But I was wondering, how do we reconcile Krishna being a well-wisher of everyone, and also Krishna explicitly describing how he is neutral towards the material world, samoham, sarvabhuteshu, etc. My question is coming that oftentimes we express that the Lord is feeling compassion for the plight of the conditioned souls. However, if that were really weighing heavy on his mind, then the material world would immediately cease to exist, because he has the power to remove it. And so we hear that Krishna is actually neutral towards material existence, showing a partiality only towards bhaktas. In that same verse, Samoham Sarvabhuteshu, he says he's neutral towards the material world, but he's partial towards bhakti. And so when there's bhakti, one can get the Lord's attention. So I was wondering, how do we understand the import of Krishna or Super Soul being a well-wisher of everyone, when actually he's neutral itself towards his devotees?
Yes. Well, Preethu's got his hand up, so he's a good boy. Did you want to answer it? Okay, Preethu wants to answer it. Are you going to take us for a ride, Preethu? You will?
The Prabhupada explained this actually. It's like a businessman. When you go to him and give him 10 rupees, you get rice 10 rupees. If you give 100 rupees, he give you 100 rupees. You give 1,000 rupees, so he's impartial. But if you come every single day and buy rice from him, then you become a special customer. And he will give you special attention. This is actually how that works.
But
that still expresses what I'm saying.
So it does. You see, the more you give, the more you get. You know, it's a basic principle in this example. You give 1,000 rupees, you get so much rice. You get 1 rupee, and he's not partial at all. He just gives everybody, whatever you give, I don't care who you are, what your nose is, whether you're black or white, doesn't matter. Whatever you give, I give you. Completely impartial, 100%. As you give, you get. However, if somebody comes back, my father was a businessman. He told me he has only something like 50 customers that are his prime customers. And he would really take care of them. He said the whole family lives just really on these 50 customers that are always coming, always coming. He would cultivate them very nicely. The others, he just gives them what they give, So it's actually quite explaining the whole thing very well.
So the material world was created because of our desires to enjoy in this world. And then as we come in here and make the attempts to enjoy it, then you have some piety, some good things, and so Krishna is reciprocating according to your desires and your karmana daivana trena. So that's not partiality, that's our desire, and Krishna is allowing material nature to reciprocate in that way. But just like children who are all playing, but that child who recognizes the father and becomes, inclined towards him, then the father naturally wants to help that person who is looking for that help. It's not necessarily, and Prabhupada also gave the example, if there's great danger and there's many, people who are in danger, and the person to take care of his own children is a natural thing, common thing. So we want to recognize our Supreme Father and his protection. And by acting in that way, in devotional service and chanting, calling out to him, he naturally is giving that special attention. But he is equal to everyone. So it's a Chincha Beta Beta Tattva. I think Prithu gave some very good example that those who are steady customers by chanting the holy name and by rendering the devotional service, the Lord's attention is there. Srimati Radharani is saying, hey, this is a sincere boy there. Give him, he's sincere. Because you're calling out to Radharani for mercy. And so those who are crying out, that child who's crying out the most gets the mother's attention. Oh yes, let me feed that person. So you got to cry out and Krishna will feed you prasadam. Nice. Yes, Maharaj.
Another aspect could be that the living entity is given eternal freedom. Krishna doesn't take away his free will. And if the living entities were, as was mentioned in the question, if Krishna was so compassionate that he took away the material existence and gave them pure love in Krishna, and the living entity would be dissatisfied that it was imposed upon me, that I didn't have anything to do with it myself. So the living entity is the perfect arrangement. That the living entity, Krishna brings him to the water in every millions of ways, but still the living entity has to drink himself, he has to surrender himself. And that's what makes it so blissful. That's what makes it so sweet. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as sweet.
They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Yeah. So, Krishna is giving us opportunity. You want to say something?
Just a follow-up question.
Thank you for the answers. Just a follow-up question. In Maharaj's example, the first image that came to my mind is if I'm drowning in the ocean and someone were to rescue me from that ocean, I don't think I would be very disappointed. So I'm still not able to reconcile this. I guess the sense of my question is that the Lord's compassion seems directed primarily at his devotees, and that if there is compassion for the jivas, then it must follow the devotees' compassion for us. Otherwise, the Supreme Lord doesn't seem to be very much concerned as far as the material affairs are going on, per the verse of Gita that I quoted.
But you're thinking that you're enjoying the ocean, you're trying to swim with the sharks and the dolphins, and you're thinking that there's some happiness there, and if somebody pulls you out, you think, hey, I'm having fun here. So people in this world, they're swimming in the ocean, they're suffering, they're repeatedly being kicked, but they're not calling out for help, and they're not recognizing. So you have to call out, you have to put forward the endeavor. Otherwise, Krishna, he's equal to you, but you still want to stay in that ocean and play with those sharks. Makes sense. Okay. Any other questions? Anabhakta Prabhu? You can give some answers too.
I just wanted to follow up. One thing came to mind, you talked about mentioned Krishna's representatives. So until we come to the liberated platform, our devotional service isn't directly accepted by Krishna. To be able to actually offer devotional service directly to Krishna, we have to be one with Krishna. We have to have that level of advancement. So really, in one sense, it is all due to the mercy of the spiritual master that we can even approach Krishna in the first place. So that question was also brought up, that very important point of us always remaining under the shelter of the spiritual master, always begging for his mercy.
Gopi Bharatu Padakamalaya Dasa Das Dasanudasa. That we have to be the servant of the servant of the Lord. Anything else? Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.